So I'm going to jump into it if you guys want, and then we can kind of roll through things. Does that sound good?
Yep.
All right. So we just a reminder, we are recording this.
Hey, Ethan.
You can say hi.
Hi.
Helping
Hi.
me.
Hi, Gina.
Build this is gonna get everybody up.
Oh, everyone. Oh.
Yeah.
Hi, Ethan.
He's my tech guy right now.
Perfect. All right. So I have on my screen the agenda, so hopefully you guys can see that.
Yep.
So let's officially call the meeting to order. 7:08 p.m. And then first thing is on the agenda, we had a link to the February minutes. Did anyone have any comments on that, or can we get a motion to approve those?
Sorry, what was the motion for?
Approval of our February meeting minutes, which is the last meeting we had.
I motion.
Okay, I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, so the first item is just the president report, and besides what's not written here, just, you know, what we officially have it on the books that everything is canceled. We haven't met since then, so we have communicated, obviously, but we officially have no events for the rest of the year. As we'll kind of touch on during the treasury report, anything that comes in from now on is probably just background fundraising income. We have nothing else active besides the Teacher Appreciation Week that we'll talk about, but we do have the elections.
Please.
Even if we're not in school, we still have to prepare for next year. So what I want to give you guys is an update on where we are with nominations, and then we can make a motion to officially close nominations. And I will work on making the Google form that can go out to families for the actual voting. So I will tell you all where we are right now, and then we can have a discussion. And if you guys have any questions or anything, we can do that after. So I'm going to start at co-historian. So we have 2 open positions because Emma's term is complete. Now Emma is nominated for that position again, so she is up to have a re-election for another term. And then there is one other position available, and we do not currently have any nominations for that. So what I am going to do, if you all agree for it, is when we actually have the ballot, we'll have Emma listed, and then we'll just have a space for a write-in, and we can just kind of see if anybody nominates themselves, and if not, over the course of the summer, we just have to try to fill that position with a parent. We do have a lot of people that were nominated that did not accept a position, but once we tell them, hey, you know, we really need someone, maybe someone would step in. So that one, we have 1 nominee for 2 positions. Secretary is filled for next year, so that will not be on the ballot. Our treasurer position is open, and we had 1 nominee who accepted. So Gretchen Sherbaugh is on the ballot for that, running unopposed. So after the election officially runs its course, we can congratulate Gretchen as our new treasurer. Our VP of Student and Family Engagement, we had 1 open position for that. And we had 1 nominee accept. So Martha Wren, who is currently a kindergarten parent and who has been a homeroom parent, has accepted that nomination. So she's running unopposed. So she will basically be our new co-VP. And then our VP of Staff Appreciation still has another term. And that has been Jessica and Gina. So that won't be on the ballot. Now our president position is, interestingly enough, the only position that has more than 1 person on it, which has probably never happened before. So we actually have, we had a parent who nominated herself, who we don't know, she couldn't be on the call today, and I have not spoken to her. but she did nominate herself, and she said she'd be open to running as a co-VP. We also have Brittany Lackey, who's been nominated and accepted a nomination to run as a co-VP. And then Gina Bergeron said that she will also run as co-VP. So we have 3 nominees open for 2 co-VP positions. So we will run that, run the ballot, and then that's the only position that we're actually still looking for someone. Someone has to be voted in.
Rebecca?
So, yes, go ahead.
Who was the first nominee? What was her name?
Caitlin Glatz. It's CAITLINGLATZ.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, no problem. So any questions regarding the nominees and where we stand with all that? All right. So I need a motion to close nominations and officially have our ballot for the election.
I motion.
I second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. I will work on getting the form built. Because we really don't have many spots, how long do you guys think we should leave that open? You know, a week? Like, should I try to have it by Friday and it runs through the following Friday, or just 2 days?
I'm sorry, can you say that again, Rebecca? I didn't hear what the options were.
I mean, it's like I could have it ready by Friday and we could run it for a week, or we could do less time frame than that. Really, we don't need to have it for long. We just have to officially tell people ballots open, and then when they have to vote by.
I think a week is good.
Okay.
I say we leave it open as long as possible to make sure they get the right votes in.
Well, let's say I'll plan on having it ready by well, actually, if I can get it in this week's connection, then we can run it through the following Friday. Does that sound good?
It's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll try to have it ready by Thursday through May 8th. And before we move on, my only additional comments on that, because of this weird year, I would like to ask that anyone who is transitioning out of a position, which I guess primarily is me and Fran, be available at the beginning of next year to really help with that transition period, because we're not going to have, May and June to do that. So
Definitely.
I'm certainly willing to. I just wasn't going to speak for you, Fran.
Yep. I'm not doing it. I'm not.
All right. So great. So let's move on to the treasury report, and I have the budget on my screen, so anyone who can see this, I just pulled that up. So can everybody see that fine?
I
All right,
can.
Fran, I'll let you talk through it, and I'll go to the next
Sure.
whenever you need me to.
So basically, the biggest, I guess, change from our February budget report that we had was I paid some Spiritware invoices in the amount of $2,666. So other than that, we really have not had any changes, from the past few months. I haven't been at school, obviously, to get, if we received any checks. We know that a box top check came in. Rebecca let me know about that. And, we should be getting a few more checks for our store programs, such as Harris Teeter, Publix, things like that. But that was really, the only kind of activity that I've had posted to our report here since then. So currently we have approximately $20,000 in our bank account, of which usually we keep, about that amount in there to cover all of our expenses for the year. As if we if we made no money, we would still have this amount of money to cover any event or, expense that we would have. So that's our balance sheet right there. So that's our bank balance. And I know, Rebecca, you wanted to speak about teacher appreciation, whether we were going to spend some money on that or roll some money over to next year or.
Yeah, that's something, we can talk about that in general now. And then once we have the teacher appreciation discussion, if we can kind of have an idea of what we have available. So, so originally we, Fran and I went through the budget and we figured out everything we could allocate to help with the Families in Need Fund that the school was creating. And actually, Ms. Savage shared with me that they had enough donations from parents that they haven't even utilized completely yet, so that they're not going to need to use those PFI monies. So while we allocated it, it didn't get spent. And so that money can actually remain into our account. And that means we do have money for Teacher Appreciation Week if we want to do something like e-gift cards or purchasing something that, I don't know what we'll talk about, the options later. And if there's something that PFI needs to purchase, we actually would have money available. Where originally we had thought, that was one of the line items that we zeroed out to try to make money for that parent, Families in Need Fund. So yeah, our original budget was going to be $750 for Teacher Appreciation Week. So, and based on the balance sheet that you shared, Fran, we've got over $1,000 available to still start next year.
Yes.
Enough money to run like we did. Now, I want to hear what all you have to think about it. I would like to say that we don't know what the beginning of the year will look like as far as like our, Matthew's Alive and the school supplies fundraisers, which combined are probably close to $5,000 that we get every year. So if we don't know if we'll have those next year. So I don't want us to set up the PFI next year to be tight from the beginning. But I do like the idea that we have a little bit of money in case our Teacher Appreciation Week ideas need some funding. So what do you guys think about that idea, and then or the idea of allocating some money, and about how much do you think you'd feel comfortable with, and then we can kind of see where we all land with that.
I guess my thing is, and I didn't see it on the page or not, did we take the money away from Field Day since we're obviously not doing it?
Yeah, we didn't spend any money for that. So that's there in our budget.
Yes.
So do we have Field Day plus Teacher Appreciation?
This is the page I have up now is the expenses, right?
Yeah.
Yes, it is, Gina. So yeah, so if you look at it, like the first column, next to the descriptions is what we've actually spent. And then the next one is what we have in the budget. Yeah, so you could see like line 07 is Teacher Appreciation Week. We spent nothing. We have $750, and same thing. Like you said, Field Day Salad Bar, we have $500. And then there's Field Day Popsicles, $400. So yeah, so there is, there are definitely things, events that we didn't have that we have the money. Also, events that we didn't have that we don't have any income from. So
right, and that's what I was going to say. That the tricky thing is that like spring pictures, we thought we'd make $1,500. And Spirit Wear, we thought we'd end up at $4,500 by the time the year was over, and apparently we're at $450. So there's some things where we thought the number would be a lot higher than it is.
Yeah.
Right.
So
if
that
we
kind of
took the money, what would we do? Because how much, are we talking K to 8? Are we talking K to 5?
Well, and that depends on that discussion later, and we can circle back after that to see, if we get some great ideas, but they need more than my initial gut is we let parents do what they feel like they want to do. But in case there's an idea of, hey, let's do this great thing, and but we need a few $100s, maybe we have that in there.
Okay.
So yeah, it's kind of a loose discussion because we don't know what the plan is yet. but yeah, my only hesitation is not knowing what the beginning of the year looks like either.
Right.
But if it comes down to it, I mean, just thinking about our beginning of the year expenses, we do the big luncheon for teachers and we give everybody the cash stipend. If we had to take those away for a year, we have to do what we have to do, like that's $5,000
Right.
there that we do at the beginning of every year. And, everyone would understand if, okay, this year we just can't, so I don't know where we're going to land with all that, but,
Right.
I'm hoping everyone has their grocery store cards really linked up, because with all of us home and food shopping, maybe we'll get some big Harris Teeter and Publix kind of rewards. Yeah.
Gina's funding the whole school through Amazon shopping. So.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, Amazon, I'm not even kidding you. If they're at my house at least 3 to 4 times a day.
Yeah.
And when they don't come, and when they pass our house, Dave has like a panic attack. Like they didn't stop here though. I'm like, oh my God, it's okay, Dave. They'll be here later, I'm sure. So yeah, we really could fund the entire school through Amazon.
That's a really good point, Fran, that maybe we run like a Facebook promotion just reminding people to use it, especially the Amazon thing, because
I think that would be a great idea.
I'll make a note to run something on Facebook about that.
I think as far as talking about what kind of amounts we feel comfortable putting in, personally, I feel like I need to hear what the ideas are first. If there is something that just sounds absolutely amazing and only takes, a reasonable amount of money, I would be totally on board.
Mm-hmm.
But I think maybe we need to talk about ideas before, at least personally, I could say, oh, that sounds like a great idea to put money into.
So I'm going to add down at the bottom of the agenda, after we finish talking about Teacher Appreciation Week, or at the same time of it, that we just decide firmly, are we allocating any money or not? And if the answer is no, that's fine. But if let's just make sure we make a motion at the end of the entire meeting on any money that we designate. Does that sound good?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, so otherwise, the rest of the budget, which covers March and April,
yes.
do we have any other comments, or can we have a motion to approve this budget report?
Crickets.
Sure, I'll motion.
I'll second.
Thank you.
All right, all in favor?
Because I audited.
Aye.
That's true. Well, and that's the next thing on here, which I'm not expecting that you have anything, but did we ever get anywhere with the audit, or did it
Yeah, we
did, Rebecca.
Yes, we did.
We got through this year, right?
Okay.
And we're up to date, right? Yeah.
You did 2019, 2020, correct?
We didn't do last year. We did this year.
Okay. Awesome. Good job.
It took a while.
I'm sure. Well, and hopefully it's not like you're catching us up and making us, compliant and stuff. And then,
Fran's organization is amazing. So whoever takes over treasurer has to follow suit, because the year before that is not so easy.
Thank you.
yeah.
I will not reinvent the wheel.
This year we got organized and went digital and tried to.
She has it set up really well.
So Shannon, you should just go in the PFI room someday and look at the tubs from like 3 or 4 years ago and realize how far we've come.
I saw the year before and I was like, let's just start with this year.
I think that's great. Well, good work, guys. I am glad to hear that has gotten done.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else for treasurer report, finances, anything of that nature?
I don't have anything. I don't know if anybody else does.
All right, well, if not, then we will go through our team reports, which I expect to be very short. However, if I don't have something listed here for your team that you would like to share on, please just speak up. So staff appreciation team, the teacher appreciation week will be discussed later. And otherwise, Gina, do you mind speaking about the birthday card thing we were talking about?
Yeah, so Elizabeth Gibson had texted me last night because she does the birthday cards and the gift cards for the teachers. And she has the gift cards and envelopes already done for March and I think April too. I'm pretty sure it was March and April, but she doesn't know what to do with the rest. So we were kind of going back and forth and thinking maybe instead of, because at first she wanted to mail them out, but we don't feel that it's, you know, teachers may not want us to have their home addresses, which I completely understand. And so we were thinking that maybe we hold on to those gift cards and we do e-gift cards so that we could send to the teachers whose birthdays are May through August, and also backtrack with the other teachers and give them e-gift cards as well. And then we'll just collect the gift cards from Elizabeth and we'll put them towards next school year's teacher birthdays. So that was one of our thoughts. Or we were going to have her mail them to the school and hope that the school could disperse them, but I don't know if anybody's at the school to do that. And I don't know if they need any more work.
Good point.
So, sorry, I just want to chime in. So our goal is starting on March the 11th, that we're going to be able to have teachers come in through like one day a week to be there to pick up and gather belongings and clean up their classrooms. So they will be there, hopefully, starting on March the 11th, one day a week.
You mean May?
I think you mean May, right?
I'm sorry, May.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, I'm backtracking.
Next year?
I'm like, next year?
Not that long, yes. May 11th, sorry, 2 weeks.
That's good to know then, Gina. Maybe we can, the one she's already done at least, can just be sent to school.
Right, this way they can be delivered.
Yeah, so one of the things Gina had shared with me was that she doesn't have any more of the actual cards at home.
Birthday cards.
And she hasn't bought the gift cards for the rest of the year. So she has the ones that are done, but after that she would have to go into the PFI room and get those anyway, and I'm not going to the school. So maybe we just have her mail the one she's done to the school and have them distribute those for us, and then we do e-gift cards for the May through the summer. And I guess we need to find out when she stopped. Did she do August at the beginning of the year? Like, I think did we start with August or did we start with September? So we need to know.
We started with, I think, August, but now I don't know, because she said that I'm just trying to find her text, sorry. She was supposed to be on the call. I don't know if she is, though. She said she might have joined. Okay, here we go. So she said, I have March and April done, minus the addresses. I did, however, run out of PFI birthday cards. I still need cards and gift cards for May through August.
Okay, so we must have started with September, which makes sense because we were still figuring things out in August.
Right.
So unless somebody else has another idea, I'm comfortable with anything she's done being sent to the school. And Mr. Newberry, would you be able to tell us who we send those to so that they can be distributed, or are you volunteering?
So if it would be March 11th on that day, Vanessa and I have a list of when teachers will be there on each day. So yes, I can volunteer and I can do that.
All right, so if we send them to, would it be best to mail them to the school, just to your attention basically, or is it better for us to mail them to you directly, like at home?
You can mail it directly to me at home. I can send you my address. I'll email you my address if that's.
Okay, don't say it now. This is public.
Hold on, Ethan's writing it down.
Well, if
No
Live stream
toilet
on
paper your
Facebook.
house, that's for sure. It's too precious.
So how about I email you my address then? Is that okay?
yeah, and then we'll have her get those to you. And then as far as the rest of them, Gina, do you want to ask Elizabeth how she'd like to handle it? I mean, Fran and I have the credit card. If we're going to do e-cards, we don't need her. We don't have to deal with reimbursing and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And we can.
That's probably the best way then.
Okay.
Mhm.
It's
So
this
we
way
just-
she
we just-
doesn't. This way you guys don't have to do all that.
We just need her list of where she left off, basically.
Yeah, I can send her a message right now.
Okay. Does anyone have any other ideas on that, or does that plan sound good to get it?
Sounds good.
I think the email just sounds easy. So
Yeah, and then we just felt bad leaving off like 2 months of teachers for the whole year. Like, hey, we got everybody except you because your birthday fell in the spring.
Right.
Well, just a note, I got an e-card from my work for admin day and I almost deleted it because I wasn't expecting it and it looked like spam. So we may want to send out an email just alerting teachers that they're going to be receiving this.
Good point.
So
Yeah, good
if
point.
they
We can put it in
don't-
like maybe the connection or something.
Well,
yeah, we can.
we can let the, I bet we could ask admin to send something directly to the teachers, like,
Yeah.
saying, hey, just so you know, if your birthday is May through August, PFI is still going to be giving you your birthday card. Keep an eye out. And maybe we can make sure it comes from my, the PFI email address so it looks more official than just being some random person's email that they don't recognize. So we'll look through the details, but I think that sounds like a good plan. All right, Gina, can you think of anything else for staff appreciation at all at the moment?
No.
All right. I do not have anything for student and family. Maria, is there anything you've thought of that you'd like to share?
I don't.
Okay. So we did have a couple items under fundraising. The first thing is spiritware. Let Sarah speak on that.
Okay. So Spiritware, we had our sale, went through March. We were able to put our order in before everything hit. So we did have to pay those invoices, which were $2,380.36. Right now we have a gross profit of $1,747 from just the sales. After the discounts that we ran for new families, our invoices, the proceeds to athletics, which was $26, and then we had $83 in refunds for people who wanted to cancel their order after after everything closed down. So that gave us a total profit of $804.10. Right now, our order is being held at Brand RPM. Mike and Lynn said that they could clear a spot in their warehouse for us, and they did that. We do need to figure out a time and when we can have it to Socrates. I can have a side conversation with Mr. Newberry, Mrs. Baker, Mrs. Brighton about how we can do that best so we can fulfill the orders. We do need to figure out how to get them to the families that kept their order open and want it fulfilled. I don't know what the plans are as far as having scholars coming to campus to pick up the remainder of their belongings that were at school. If we can do something then, or if it would be best if we just fulfilled put the orders together and then set up a sign up for times, and we can do a contactless delivery where we know what time they're coming and we just put it in their trunks and they go. I would need access in order to completely fulfill all the orders. I do need to have access to the PFI closet because there's some inventory in there that we need to access. And that's about where we are with Spiritware.
All right. Do we think, I just want to put it out there, is it an okay idea to just tell parents you get your order at the beginning of the year, or would you feel better if we fill these now?
I'm fine with doing it at the beginning of the year. Then our really logistical thing then is finding a time when we can get the order to Socrates and just put it in the closet.
And if we knew someone was going to be there, we could just tell them, and if they have a key, we can say, just dump the boxes in the closet and we'll deal with it whenever. I feel like the logistics of filling orders and having to be on campus, like I think I don't want to put that work on anyone. I mean, I know that you'd probably be willing to do it, but like if you're sitting there and someone doesn't show, I mean, you don't want to sit there and wait all day for someone who doesn't come, and when it's a t-shirt, it's not.
Yeah.
If school was starting again, I feel like it'd be a different situation, but nobody needs these things right now. And we've offered the refund option. If someone's like, well, if it was an 8th grader or something, and they're like, well, I don't need my stuff anymore. Like we will still refund you if we needed to, like we can still do that, but you can just commit to these people, you get your order first, like maybe if we can get back in August, we can say, hey, you can go ahead and, we can do a sign up then, like come before anybody else.
One thing that crosses my brain is that, maybe the parent would feel like their kid would outgrow it. I don't know. That's the only thing that, like, if they want it now, I don't know. It's weird.
Because even if they filled it now and they're not wearing it by next year, they're gonna feel like it's wasted.
I guess
I know I always order.
if they got it in August, could they exchange it for a different size or?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Even now, if they order the wrong size, they can just return it for a different size. It's no problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I would say August would probably be better if you just send an email out. And
yeah, if we communicate it. And that's the thing, we can tell people that, again, now that we know school's not coming back, we can officially say, hey, anyone who's placed orders, and we don't have to do it even in the blast. We have all those emails, Sarah. We could have an email directly, hey, just so your order will be filled in August. And then we can even still put in there, if you prefer to be refunded, here you go. If you want to keep your order open, you can exchange it in August if you need a different size or whatever. That just seems like it might be easier.
Could we also option, if we do that, if we give them the option of getting a refund or holding off on their order, just a thought, could we also make it an option if, and say, hey, we completely understand if you no longer need this. So your 2 choices, if you don't want to pick up your order in August, are to get a refund or to donate the proceeds to the PFI.
And then just cancel your order, but donate your proceeds. That's a good idea.
I mean, if it's just a t-shirt, they might say, hey, it's not worth the trouble. Here's, $12 or whatever.
Yeah.
And we make it, that doesn't hurt.
What if, would it be logistically, again, if we're going to send it as emails to those people, not as a mass blast, would it be easier to have a form that then goes, a Google form that you send out rather than just an email?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think a form would be easier, then they can just choose what option.
All right, I'll put something together, and then you and I can work on getting those emails sent out. That sounds like a good plan to me. Sound good to you guys?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. The other fundraising item we have on the agenda is the Educate fundraiser. Brittany?
I spoke to our rep yesterday, and it made me feel a whole lot better about the whole thing. She said that the warehouses they use have no problem holding the products. Just realistically right now, we don't know that we'll start back in August. So I had kind of just played devil's advocate, and I said, well, what if we don't? What if we have all these parents who are investing in this, and then come August, we're not ready for it. What happens to it if we can't physically take it and get it to the parents at that point? She said that the warehouse would hold it. She said something else that some of the other schools she works with have talked about are sort of a carpool pickup, which, similar to what Sarah talked about, the spiritware. If we chose to, if we felt safe enough to do so, we could designate days and hours where they could, pull up and, I don't know, maybe they could put up their carpool sign. And, we go and collect their students' supplies, toss them in the trunk, and they move on. Also, and we don't have to decide this now, we have plenty of time, but what we could also do is do home delivery only. And we don't have to decide that as the parents are ordering. That's something that hopefully the school year proceeds like it's supposed to in August. But if we get to August 1st and for some reason we're delayed, we can then call them and say, hey, we feel like we need to move to home delivery, get the product into the hands of the people who paid for them, and then let them to decide what to do with it. Plus, if school's delayed for some reason and the kids are doing work at home, maybe the teachers need them to have access to these supplies to be doing what they're doing at home. So it seemed like whatever happens, they've got it under control and their options, and it's not a big deal. She didn't even sound daunted by the whole thing. I would like to proceed with it, especially knowing that we've missed out on other opportunities. It takes very little effort from us. I feel like we can market the fact that you can get all of your kids' school supplies and not have to go in anywhere. You don't have to make contact with anyone. They'll do it for you. And, if parents are concerned, let them know the feedback we've gotten from Educate. And then, another thing is our rep was explaining to me that they order directly from manufacturers because they order in such large quantities. So, right now people are desperate and they're buying up all the arts and crafts supplies to keep their kids occupied at home. And they may have a hard time finding certain school supplies as a result. So then not only are they out having to try and do this shopping, but maybe they're even having to go from store to store. So if we market as, no contact school supply shopping and no worry about what's in stock, then maybe we will still get a fair amount of people ordering. Our regular cutoff is going to be June 21st. And then we would have, that would be the best pricing. And then we will have a last chance cutoff at a slightly higher price, which would be July 26th. She said it doesn't matter when they order. All of those options I mentioned before are still open to anyone who orders by July 26th. We are in good shape with Educate. They've been super patient and very understanding that there are other things going on right now. The only thing I'm waiting for to be able to market and then talk about a live date is the approved list. I know that the lists from the teachers were due 1 week ago, to my knowledge. And I was just waiting on Ms. Baker to approve them and send them on to me. And then our Educate rep prices everything out, sends it back for approval, and then we can move on from there.
Ms. Baker, are you still on?
Yeah,
Do you have any updates on that for Brittany?
yeah, we have the list, and I can share that with you now. I apologize. I thought that Miss Susie was sharing that with you, so I'll do that tonight.
Great.
When do you think we'll know if school is going to start in August? I know. Who knows? Yeah.
There's a lot of unknown factors, I'm sure.
And personally, for me as a parent, I am trying to proceed as things are going to open.
Mm-hmm.
So I personally would buy the Educate thing.
Yes.
Just to be prepared.
Yes.
And
yeah, I mean, I'll buy it either way, especially since I know it's a fundraiser and it's
and I like the
and
fact that it supports the school.
Yes.
And I think that a lot of parents don't know that the money actually does help the school. So when you guys market this, I think that, maybe I don't know, somehow say that more, that it does go back into the school. So anyway, but I think you'll still get some sales from it. If
It
you
was really profitable last year, and even if it's not as profitable this year, I would hate to completely lose out on it. And I'm full proceeding after having talked to her, especially, and knowing that, I mean, they're going to figure it out one way or another, and they don't seem concerned about the potential issues.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and July 26th is a great cutoff date. The June one, I feel like is some people just aren't there yet, but July is great, you know?
That is.
Well, and again, it's just a price difference. Everything, assuming we proceed as normal in August, both sets will come to the school. Both sets will be labeled with students' names. That was something we pushed for this year. So the only difference is the slight price jump. So we just, we market it as best pricing up into June 21st. And then, last chance deadline, get it in before it's too late, July 26th.
Okay. I know usually they would give you flyers. Did they have digital flyers that we can modify? Can they send or I mean, I can always make something, but do they have something already made that they can send you that we can use for e-blasts and on Facebook and everything?
So what I have in my possession right now is something that we were going to use mostly for the kindergarten parents, and it didn't have any dates on it. It just said, look for more info in the spring. And then I passed that along to Georgia to use. They gave me enough of them to give out, but we don't have any events. Mm-hmm. And even if we did, we wouldn't now that everything is shut down. So I passed one along to Georgia for her to use in the emails to go out to the kindergartners. I know that used to be Rose's job. And so when I gave it to Georgia, she goes, oh God, who's going to do that? Just give it to me. I'll take care of it. So I gave it to Georgia, and it didn't have any dates. It just said, look for it in spring 2020. So I can absolutely ask them. They're real good about it, and ask her to send me one that has the actual dates, which just might be more productive.
Yeah.
And she can get that to me once she has the lists in hand and once she gets the approval of the pricing and stuff.
That sounds good. And then we can work on how we want to phrase it.
What is the percentage that we make off of that? Is it like 10% or?
So
5?
typically, no, it's actually really good. I'm hesitant to say exactly. It was either 12 or 15 last year, except there were 2 grades that had more expensive lists than the other. Mm-hmm. And so those 2 grades specifically, we gave a slightly lower markup, just so that those 2 didn't have sticker shock looking compared to the others. But it was like 12 or 15 last year.
Okay. So you could be safe to say, or to tell people that, we make around a 12% profit or like a.
And that's also up to us. That's 100% up to us. She asks what percentage we want to mark up. I continued with what had been the markup before I came on board. Last year was my first year, and I even kind of came in sort of in the middle of the process, not totally at the beginning. So I just went with what was already established, which is fine. But I mean, we can determine it. So I mean,
okay,
up or down, whatever.
I mean, I don't think you want to go too high because, you want to make it affordable for the parents to, but I was just thinking, if homeroom parents send an email out, could we possibly say a certain percentage goes back to the school if you purchase these?
We could say whatever we want, and we can market it any way we want. My only hesitation with actually giving them a number is in the event that might turn someone off. I'm not giving you % just to do my shopping. I'll go do it myself. I'm go with the flow. I'll do what everybody wants to do. What I would do is I would maybe talk about what we purchased with that money this past year. maybe mention something that the PFI was able to do with the proceeds from last year's sale, and make it relevant to the parents. You know, like it just for example, it, you know, participated in purchasing a Chrome cart. Whatever it was we used the proceeds for, talk about what that means to their student, and a lot of times that will get them on board.
I like it.
All right. So we'll working on getting that e-flyer, and then we can kind of determine how we want to promote it on the Facebook and in the connection, and maybe in some other emails that come from parents, things like that. Was there any other fundraising business that's not on the agenda that somebody wants to mention? All right, the final teams, I don't have anything for: book fair, campus beautification, and school pictures. Does anyone have anything to contribute for those items? All right, really good timing. It's not even 8 o'clock, and I'm to my 8 o'clock amount here. Yay. I believe there might be a couple people who we're going to call in for this portion. So I am fine with us moving forward with the discussion, but I'm going to peek first and see if the other people I was expecting are here. See a few names that I don't recognize, but it could be children's names, since they're the ones using Zoom all the time. So we'll just move forward, and then if someone gets on and needs us to recap or anything, we can. So what I'd like for us to do is really just take some time brainstorming this Teacher Appreciation Week. So National Teacher Appreciation Week is next week, so May 4th through 8th, and we had a lot of stuff planned that we could not do in person. And as over the last week, as several people, parents and staff, have contacted asking, well, what are we doing? So since we don't have a plan in place, what I'd like for us to do is really just talk out a bunch of ideas. I'm going to take some notes. We can just think of anything that sounds good, and then maybe, you know, either when we run out of ideas or by, you know, 8:15, we can kind of start reining it into, okay, what do we actually want to do? So right now, just floor is open. What are your ideas?
So this is Amy. One of the ideas that some of us had talked about was the birthday parades are really popular right now. I was thinking about doing a teacher appreciation parade, but I think for that we'd have to wait until maybe the teachers were at the school, as Mr. Newberry mentioned, because the more I think about that, I don't know where they could be and social distance and have people drive through.
And
I know that the kids have really liked that, and our daycare did that.
And so the times in which the teachers will be at the school will not be all at the same time, just as a head.
Okay. That's what I figured out as well.
Right.
As you were talking.
I had a thought too, Amy, so what we're doing, my oldest is graduating from college next week, and obviously he's not having a graduation. So we're asking friends and family to send us a video message, and then we are going to give that to him. We're going to put it together, and then we're going to give that to him as just something to say, like, hey, I know you couldn't have your actual graduation, but at least this is what friends and family were thinking of you, and, you know, whatever. Maybe we could do something like that.
Yeah, we just did that for a friend's birthday, and I like that idea.
Hey, I have a question about Amy's idea. Just to clarify, Amy, were you wanting the teachers to set up in the parking lot and the parents drive through, or did you want the way around? Since it's the teachers,
like the teachers or the parents would drive through.
Yeah.
And then the teachers could appreciate it. But I just don't know how, the more I'm thinking about that, they could almost go a carpool route. So the way they did it at our daycare was they are still keeping some essential workers' kids, but they did an appreciation. So parents had signs that said, "We love you and miss you," and thank you on their cars, and they drove through.
So since we would be praising them, would it be possible, like we could put out a sign up just to control the number of people, just so that it stays manageable, so that we could space people out? Let the families sign up to, like, not literally pay for, but like rent a table to set up in the parking lot, and let the teachers drive through and let us, wave and praise them as they come through. And then if it were approved, and as long as we kept the numbers down so we could be 6 or 8 feet apart or whatever, we could pick a day, pick a couple of hours, and let the teachers drive through and let us, hoot and holler for them.
That would be nice in an ideal world, Brittany, and I like that. But I'm afraid these kids who haven't seen their friends in forever would have the itch to run over and hug, and it would just be so hard for them to contain themselves.
I agree. I mean, quite frankly, I
Brittany,
want one that doesn't live in.
This is Mrs. Brighton. Hi.
Hi.
I joined late, but I wanted to also just comment that something that we're sharing, we've been getting questions about something like this, and just knowing that, the end of the year is not going to be in buildings. We're about to release, we're calling it the commencement parade for every grade level, but it's about to be released on Friday, where we're going to ask parents to decorate their cars as they drive through and say their greetings and goodbyes to their grade level teachers. And we are bringing the teachers, but it's going to be the end of May, early June when that happens. But we were going to suggest that people decorate their cars at that time. So I just wanted to make it known that we are trying to create an opportunity like that for commencement of every grade level, and give that opportunity. So it's not going to be something that's not going to happen.
Yeah,
So we certainly don't twice then. So thank you.
Okay. And thanks for
Another
doing
thought,
by the way.
Another thought could be to do like one of the Card My Yards on the 11th, the day that teachers are coming back. I know that next week is teacher appreciation, but if some are coming back on the 11th, then we could have something that says "We love our teachers" or something like that.
Card My Yard / Chalk the Walk, and then that way we can.
Yeah, either one. Yeah, it could go different ways.
Every building.
Mm-hmm.
We did a Card My Yard coming back to school. Can we call that company again? I think it was a parent at Socrates whose friend does it.
Was it Happy Sign Surprise?
I don't remember which one it was. It might have been.
Sounds familiar.
But they had the back to school, the big back to school for, and it was over by the, what is it now? The 3-4 building and the middle school building.
So
could
then
do something like that.
maybe we could see just if they're all coming on different days, but within like the same week or something. I guess we could see if we could leave it up so that they all kind of get to enjoy it. I would say if that's something we want to do, I was looking into something similar because my husband graduates with his degree next week but doesn't actually get to walk. So I was looking at it from that company today, and they had just said something about, if you want us right now, so does everybody else, so please try to book ahead. So if that's something we want to do, we need to look into it ASAP.
Hi, this is Miss Savage. Can I first of all, I wanted to come and thank the PFI for being willing to give us some money for the families in need. I'm so grateful that I didn't need to, but the fact that you all offered was really heartwarming, and I just wanted to thank you for that. And so in addition to that, I don't have any great ideas, like anything, unfortunately, out of the box or something that hasn't been brought up today. As far as the video, I do love that idea. I just think about the fact that we kind of did something similar recently, and I don't know how many, out of all the students, how many videos you actually see. I did have a thought of having, just because I have access to do this, as a staff member, having like a special Zoom meeting for every class where the entire thing is just them talking about what they love about their teacher, and then I could record that and give it to the teacher. And it's from their whole class specifically to them, not a video with the whole school and all the students. And it's really customized. Of course, I have to get permission from parents, letting them know this is one of those that would be recorded. Are they okay with that? And I don't mind doing that from the parents. That's just an idea. The only other idea I had was what Amy mentioned, like the yard sign thing. And then I did find this like really cool like bingo thing, and I can send an email that was just like, if you can do, get bingo, those bingo boards, kind of like the social emotional one that went out earlier, but it was all things like, take a video of yourself doing 50 jumping jacks for your PA teacher to show them you appreciate them. Draw a picture for your art teacher. I know the special teachers tend to get left out of these things a lot, unfortunately. And things like that, but that's all I have.
Really good ideas.
Yeah, the bingo card's really cute.
So one of our ideas that I had that was just, I really wanted us to try to do were these little flare marker pens. I don't know if you guys have seen them, but they're like a nice quality marker, and from all the different teacher appreciation boards I've looked on Pinterest, a lot of people seem to like those. So that's something small that we could potentially do. I was going to make a little card to be like, we love your flare, or something along those lines. That's something I could still potentially do if we had some budget for that. They're not very expensive, and drop those off for the teachers to have there. We could also potentially have, I don't know security wise the best way to do this, but I've heard some schools having like a way for parents to drop off something for their teacher if they wanted to, but I can't figure out the security part of that. I mean, you wouldn't want to leave a bunch of gift cards in a box outside the school. So that was the other thing I thought of, was that if parents wanted to do something, they could drop it off at the school potentially.
Could we also possibly, assuming we had people willing to help with it, and I would be willing to help with it myself, could we brainstorm a way to be safe but still provide some kind of snacks for them when they are there that week that they're working? And maybe it won't be during National Teacher Appreciation Week, but maybe it would still just be a little something. Coffee, donut, I mean anything, but I'm willing to help with it if we can figure out how to do it.
I'm willing to help with that too.
I mean, anything can be delivered nowadays.
Yeah.
True.
And another thing I forgot to mention was I saw a really cute like tagline for this year, which is teachers can virtually do anything. And I thought that was really cute because everything's
great.
virtual. And
I like the idea of making it more personal for the class. I think that just this week I was asking Cecilia, what she missed about Miss Morgan the most, and she was saying how she misses her hugs and her kindness. And I think like if Miss Morgan saw a little note that just said that from Cecilia, it would mean a lot to her. I know that these teachers are missing the kids a lot too. So I think doing something personal, like I don't think it needs to cost something, or we can, and I think doing just containing the class would be, I don't know, kind of more on that end of things.
Yeah, I love Miss Savage's idea of doing a special Zoom meeting that's just for that class. And if you let parents know, if they didn't want their child recorded, their child wouldn't necessarily have to participate. They could maybe send an email to the teacher or a picture of a note or something.
Right. What if, I'm sorry, my sister-in-law is a teacher back in New Jersey, and she just sent us, I don't know if you guys can see it or read it.
I can't.
You guys see it?
Yeah, it's hard to read.
It's
What's it say?
It says, I will teach you in a room. I will teach you now on Zoom. I will teach you in a house. I will teach you with my mouse. I will teach you here or there. I will teach because I care. Wonder if we could get like something made up for them like that. I mean, I don't know what it would cost. And just, brainstorming a little something. And then we could put like either, I mean, it'd probably be a lot to put all the kids' names on it, but maybe even just some sort of just, your class of 2020. I mean, whatever it is.
Could that particular idea be as simple as just sort of like making up, I don't know, some kind of a document that has that on it, some kind of cute graphic, and then maybe letting that trickle down to the homeroom moms? Let the homeroom moms maybe, you know, jot the kids' names down, or I don't know, something, put it on a poster board. Something my preschoolers did for me this year for Valentine's Day, it was really cute, is a little heart, and they had each of the kids tell them what they loved most about me, and then wrote it on the heart. You know, I like Miss Brittany's hugs the best. I like when she plays cards with me, whatever it was. Maybe we could let it go to the homeroom parents to kind of gather some of those things. Hey, anybody who wants to participate, ask your child what they love best about the teacher, and then let the homeroom parent compile it onto one document, one poster board, one whatever, and then get it here.
I would say if we do anything specifically by homeroom, we need to have someone willing to check the classes that homeroom parents aren't their part. I'd hate for some of the teachers to be left out because the homeroom parent didn't do it.
Well, and we could ask them to CC the PFI on, I don't know, if they do it on a poster board, take a photo and email it to the teacher, or if they put it into a document, if they're tech savvy, and send it to, we could ask for it one way or another. They have to email it, so we could ask for it to be CC'd to the PFI.
We can make sure.
Or to specifically, what was it? Specifically the homeroom parent coordinator or whatever.
Yeah.
I think if maybe we could ask them even before that to commit to whether or not they can do it, so we have an idea in advance this is or is not going to happen for certain classrooms. Like I know that we had MIA homeroom for ours, so now I'm our homeroom, but I don't, so I think we just want to make sure that we know before the day they're all supposed to go out.
All right. Because admin is on here, I have a question for you all. So if we were to do something that we want to get the homeroom parents' feedback on, typically if we can't get the homeroom parent to send it, the teacher would, but obviously in this, we don't want the teachers having to send something out. If there are some classes where our homeroom parents are MIA, can someone on admin communicate with those parents? Like, do you all have those class lists that you could easily send, or is that not easy for you to do?
With can address middle school, but as far as elementary, I can easily do that through Class Dojo, so that wouldn't be a problem at all. In fact, I mean, if you would prefer that, which I can forward, just let me know what you need.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I had to step away for a quick second. I heard the tail end of it.
We were just talking, well, and actually for middle school, it's a whole different situation anyway, because we don't have homeroom parents. So we'd have to decide how we, maybe we do something different for those teachers versus the elementary teachers anyway, because I don't think a lot of middle school kids are going to send heartfelt messages and there's not just one teacher. So
right.
Maybe that is an elementary type of activity anyway.
All right, and I'm wondering, I mean, I know some of the emails that go out, it's like, oh, thank you for this percentage of the class participating and whatnot. I wonder if some parents have really just shut themselves off right now. And they're just so taken back by work and whatnot that they're not even paying attention to the stuff that we're sending. I mean, I know that's sad, but I'm sure it's the truth in a lot of cases. Like, I don't know. Is it easier for us to just kind of provide something, or we still go and ask and put forth the effort, I guess?
I mean, that's kind of a good point, because then some of the kids who don't have involved parents, it's not really fair for.
I mean, make no mistake, I don't think there's ever been a time that I was in charge of homeroom parents or that I've been a homeroom parent that we've ever gotten 100% of a class participation.
Right, yeah.
Or response. So it's not just this, but just wondering, like, do we figure out a way, just give them these times, and a lot of people have special circumstances that they don't want to put themselves out there, not because they don't care, but because they're scared. That is it easier just to, say, hey, everybody does what they would like for their teacher, and if we want to do for our kids' teacher a gift card or whatever, that's what we do? Or do you think it's better to just show our appreciation to PFI and say that it was given by the class? I mean, I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud, basically. I have quarantine brain, so it doesn't really work.
Well, and some of the
Just tell me if I'm rambling.
what we've done.
No, I think that you have a good point.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think PFI should definitely do something, and probably the bulk of it, because Gina did make a good point. A lot of people are just in survival mode right now, and they're doing almost what they would probably consider the bare minimum. Look, I'm getting the kids' schoolwork done. I'm getting my work done. And now there's something else being asked of them, and it can stretch people very thinly. So I think it would be best if PFI just took the bulk of it, and then also have options and ideas for parents that they could do for their own homerooms. I almost think that would be the best way to go about it, so we're not asking even more of the parents right now.
Well, and on the same token, no, you'll never get 100% participation, but every class is going to have at least somebody in it who is willing to say, hey, they're busting their butts, let's do something. So maybe, I agree with you, Sarah, we could make sure the PFI does something to make sure every teacher gets something, but maybe we could just put out suggestions for the parents, and just suggestions, nothing they have to take. I mean, we didn't do all of the suggestions that have been sent out so far because, like you said, there were just days that it didn't happen. It just wasn't happening. It was what we could do to do the necessities, and the extras weren't a priority. But there will be some parents who do want to do it. So maybe we can just send out suggestions in a blast on Facebook through homeroom parents. Hey, if you guys are wondering how to show your teachers, appreciation for them when you can't see them.
I think we should send them all a funny t-shirt about being quarantined and teaching at the same time. Some kind of sarcasm.
Total.
So one of the things I've been making some notes and thinking while you guys are talking. I guess I have two different thoughts. It kind of goes two different directions. So one, instead of homeroom anyway, I was just thinking, especially the way Zooms are done, we really are more grade level anyway, which then incorporates the Greeks and the specials. So if we do anything, rather than nail it down to homeroom, we might want to just do a grade level thing. And also, I like the idea of the list of suggestions. The way we've done teacher appreciation the last few years is we actually have a different activity for each day. So we could go that route where we have a list of several ideas, but then we push one big one each day or something and it doesn't have to be monetary. And sometimes it can be. It can be like, hey, today send your teacher a $5. Hey, send your teacher a picture you do, or they don't have to be big, but like small things that we ask them to do each day, and then we see what they get. But it could be a whole list of suggestions, like 25 things you can do to show your teacher you care, and just give them a whole list, and then let and some of those could be monetary. Somebody's child is loud out there. It's just fun to hear those background noises.
Hey, Rebecca.
Yeah.
This is Gretchen. I hope you guys are doing well. Hi. What about, and I don't know if it's something we could pull off for now, but maybe an idea for, if it's hard to do things now, but I'm thinking at end of year, what if we could kind of call through photos that teachers have posted of their classes and them with them, and maybe make like a book, like one of those Shutterfly books or something to give them.
Like at the end of the year right now?
Well, I'd love to do it now. I just don't know that time-wise we could get it done. Maybe we could. I don't know.
I really like that idea, Gretchen. I think it's more in line given the time constraint. That would be a nice end of year gift from the grade.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I really like that idea a lot.
Really quick, back to where we were talking about offering suggestions so the parents aren't feeling overwhelmed. Something we could think about, I don't know, I always think that seeing someone else doing it is an encouragement. Maybe even if it's just among those of us who are on this call, we could participate in some of the things, have our kids, if we feel comfortable putting them on social media, do some of the things, and then post it to the PFI's page throughout the week. And it just might be an extra encouragement. You know, if we did have, here are 25 things, you know, each family among us or whatever, whoever wants to participate can pick a thing. And then, you know, we just kind of publicize it a little bit and have fun with it. And maybe if the parents see it, it'll just be an encouragement and a reminder to maybe do something themselves. Don't all jump at once to be on Facebook, though.
Yeah. Well, I was just taking a note anyway when you were saying that, like, because I feel like we need to put something in the connection this week, regardless of what we decide to do, that we can at least say, make sure you tune into the PFI's Facebook page for announcements each day about Teacher Appreciation Week or something like that, which can like give us time to come up with even more ideas and just bump people to that page. So I'm making a note about doing that. All right, so we've had a lot of ideas come out, and we may still have more. But I feel like it sounded like there was a pretty good consensus on let's give people ideas, and whether it's a list at once or it's on a bingo board or it's one a day, whatever. We want to just have multiple things that we're going to do, right? That's kind of where we are with that. We're not coming up with like one big thing, like lots of little things.
Yeah, I think so.
So let's decide on, do we want to do it daily, or do we want to just give a list, or do we want to just have like a few things each day that are small little things? Like, how do we structure it, and then we can just fill in the blanks with our idea.
Are you
Could we get admin's opinion and see what they think would be the
I'd love to. Yeah, do you guys have any did you have any thoughts on how you'd like it to be done?
Are you talking about giving things to the teachers daily or altogether? Are you the ideas for parents?
An idea for parents or students to do from home for the teachers. Like,
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So my perspective, this is just me, but I would rather see it all at once because I'm so busy trying to manage schoolwork for two and my job. I can't keep track of things on a daily basis. That's just me. Like, having it consolidated makes it much easier to see everything at once.
Put out the whole list on like Sunday, and then let the parents go through. I do kind of think the bingo idea was cute though, and it's just something, especially the younger kids, just to like let them enjoy it. Like, hey mom, you know, I got bingo or whatever, and it might just encourage them to do more than one if we had it displayed in a fun way like that.
You can share it really quick if you guys want to see it, and I'm allowed to share my screen.
Yeah. Do I have to stop share? Let me stop sharing and then you can share. You should be able to now.
I think I need to maybe make this bigger. Yeah. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Yep.
So I was going to change it a little bit. I got this from somewhere else, but I was gonna just change it to add something for the teachers in there. And I
love that.
Any suggestions?
Yeah, that's cute.
I think it's a great idea too.
Yeah, and it's general enough, it's simple enough, and it gives people something to do.
And I really like idea because it doesn't necessarily require monetary contribution. And we know that families are really, some families are really struggling right now with layoffs and furloughs. So I really appreciate that this doesn't have monetary things on there.
And to Gretchen's point, and I think Shannon also made that point earlier, like to do something, I mean, even when it's regular, you know, spirit weeks, by the time it's Wednesday, you've forgotten, or you've gotten so caught up in other things. That what generally happens is like maybe Monday and Tuesday you get a whole bunch of something, or Friday you get a whole bunch of something, but it's really hard, especially now, to remember something.
And so would you be very specific about how a parent could submit this? Like, are they going to, if they're K-5, submit it through Dojo, or is there going to be like a Flipgrid link? How would parents submit this?
I think we can brainstorm that a little bit. I kind of thought it's just, for me, yeah, it's like personal. Every student can just do these. Oh, I feel like the 50 jumping jacks and the R. Yeah, I mean, I could create a Flipgrid for.
And I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I think that, like, even as kids log on to Zoom, I mean, that could be even an avenue. Like, hey, when your kids log on to Zoom, tell them to do something from the tic-tac-toe.
I mean, can't you just show a little mini video on your phone and then just attach it to an email and send it to them? Or is that?
Yeah.
Well, and at least in the elementary school, it's really easy to access everybody, because I know every teacher my kid has is on her class dojo. But I mean, you know, it's also figure what the email is. So I don't think if we're making it an individual family thing, I don't think it's going to be hard to get to them.
Right.
But I like the idea of maybe on a particular day, if kids wanted to write something just on a piece of paper, that at the beginning they could all hold up in their Zoom meeting. So instead of seeing 10 kids' faces, she would see, you know, we love Miss Matheson because blah, blah, blah. I mean, I think that could be
So
cute.
instead of like this middle block here that just says log into your Zoom session, kids are doing that anyway. It could say,
yeah,
when you log into Zoom, they hold up a sign that says, you know, I miss you, or something like that, or I appreciate
Right.
you.
That expresses your gratitude for your teacher.
Right.
They'll be crying through their Zoom sessions.
Sure. Yeah.
That's a great idea. I like it a lot.
Okay. Well, and I know that, you know, everybody's brains operate differently. So I agree with what Gretchen said about releasing an entire list. But if anyone is willing, we can just do sort of like encouraging reminders, or, I mean, again, like if anybody wants to participate in showing what their kids are doing, we can just put it on Facebook to remind people, but it's in the list of Sundays, whatever works for everybody is happening.
Right.
I like that too. I think that that's a good idea, because then also just on a marketing side of it, the more we have activity going on the Facebook, the more people are checking it out. So if we have this as our simple plan, and then we, as the parents on this conversation, kind of commit to showing our families once or twice or something, that could be great.
Just kind of encourage everybody else to lighten up a little bit when everything is so heavy, and have a little bit of fun with it too.
Yeah. So Ms. Savage, are you fine with making this?
Yeah, I'll make one to change it a little bit and add something in Greek, say something in Greek, and then I will send it to you, Rebecca. Is that the best way?
Yeah, that'd be great. I was going to say, I'd love her to be able to come from PFI, and then
absolutely.
So that would be great if you guys can kind of fine tune this. Can we? Is there a chance of it being ready before the connection email goes out, or could we have a special blast go out on on Sunday specifically about teacher appreciation?
I can't answer that, but I could definitely have it done before Friday.
Okay. So let's find out.
Miss Baker, could you push it out in Dojo for elementary school as well?
Yeah, I sure can. And if complete. If Miss Savage has it done by Friday, then it can be included in the connection because Miss Susie has been sending the connection, I believe, on Fridays.
Let's make that our goal, because then it's out to all parents in that format. And so there's a few.
Just a friendly suggestion, just as the person who was sending Janice things for the connection this year, maybe just give her a heads up on, like, I don't know, tomorrow or Thursday that something is coming. If you can get it to her before Friday. I know she had always asked me to get it to her the day before it went out so she could get it approved. At least if she knows it's coming, she can kind of save space for it.
Yeah, in my head, I'm gonna have it done probably by Thursday, and I will reach out to her. I actually have a call with her tomorrow about something else, so I'll definitely bring it up to her. Thank you.
So some of the other things that were brought up that may or may not be for next week, but we talked about the card the yard idea. Obviously, that would be a bit of an expense. Is that something someone is interested in potentially researching and finding out what that costs, and then we can see if that's something PFI can actually do to have ready for the 11th?
What is that?
I think the we love our teachers thing or whatever, or I don't
Or
know.
the yard like we did for back to school.
It's called Card the Yard.
There's different ones. They have different names.
So since admin is on, are you guys able to tell us when the teachers are permitted to come and get their things? Is that several days in a row? Or is it like Monday and Tuesday this week and like Wednesday next week? Are those consecutive days so we can leave it up, or are they spread out?
Everybody will be on campus starting the week of May 11th. However, they won't be there at the same time. They're staggered, but they'll be coming, like, people have been assigned Mondays to come, Tuesdays, and so forth. So they would be able to see it if it was up for the whole week.
Right. If it was up Monday through Friday, every teacher would have an opportunity to see it. Because within 1 week, I think we have every teacher. Is that right?
Yes, every teacher, if they leave it up. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the week of May 11th, correct?
Correct. Now that's tentative, depending on any changes that the governor may have.
Okay.
So unless we may want to do a chalk the walk then instead, because I think it could be pretty expensive to do that over the course of a week.
Yeah, that's why I know that they charge by the day. It's just something I've looked into before. And I also know that they are really, really busy right now. So I don't know if those particular signs that we would need would be available for an entire week with only a week and a half.
Yeah, I know they tried to do it for Miss Wilson, and she had 22 houses that day.
Another question then for admin regarding the teachers, is it going to be staggered grade levels? Like if we did a chalk the walk, like are all the kindergarten teachers coming on the same day? And
no, they're spread out. Yeah, it's by location, and so we're trying to just have one teacher on a hallway at a time, 1 to 2 teachers.
So maybe we could ask somebody to paint the rocks.
I was just going to say that, Rebecca. Great idea.
Maybe we can do a sign of genius for the chalking the walk, where you can come each afternoon or first thing each morning, you know, and just one per grade, you know, one per building or whatever, just to kind of give it a little color each day. And of course it's weather dependent, but we could, that's nothing more than a sign of genius and saying you're gonna do it. And then we could have somebody paint the rocks before they come back that could stay up all week.
I can ask Morgan Jeter, who painted it the last time.
Yeah. Would anyone be interested in making a sign of genius for chalk the walk and kind of coming up with the verbiage for doing that? And we can maybe get that out. Even though it's the following week, it's still a teacher appreciation thing we could go ahead and promote now.
I'm happy to make it if you want, Rebecca. This is Amy.
Okay. So Amy, you said you'll ask Morgan about the rocks as well?
Yeah, I'm texting her right now.
Okay. All right. So then that's something we can have in play, even if we don't, even if it's not for next week. And then if the weather, if the schools can't, if the teachers can't come back the 8th, we can always bump that another week out. No financial commitment. Now, as far as the the pens, Amy, you had talked about, did you have, I know you'd said that's something that could still happen even if it's not this week. Did you have a amount for how much that was going to be?
Let me look really quickly.
Because it could be something that's ready when they come back, or sometime before the school year's over or something like that.
They're about $1 each. It looks like I could maybe find them for less if I shopped around, but on Amazon I can get them for $12 for 12.
And it's just something you're going to make, basically?
Yeah, there's a card. I'll show it to you. I'll email it to you.
What do you guys think about putting a little bit into it to have something like that made for them for the end of the year? I mean, and maybe we can even use that fun, some version of the poem or something that Gina was sharing that kind of make it clever. Do you guys like that idea? Do you want to save it for another year? Do you like the idea of doing something like that?
I am fully in support of doing something tangible for them, even if it's only small.
I agree too. I'd like it something they can keep permanently.
So that we would need probably around $100 then or so allocated for that, right?
Yes.
How many staff members do we have total? Is it 100 teachers?
Or it's around 100 total. I don't know after staff and everything, not just teachers, everybody else, but.
Do we know how many teachers we have and assistants?
I mean, I don't, but admin might know offhand.
I mean, I could count in my head, but that.
Yeah, I know I've seen the spreadsheet, and
it'll take us a couple of years to get that.
Can you repeat the question? What was the question?
How many teachers and assistants?
Well, we have 97 staff altogether.
Okay. Around 100.
Yeah, we should definitely cover all the staff.
Yes.
Yes. Another idea, if people don't like the pens, every year I've done something for our teachers using that EOS lip balm that says "You're the bomb," BALM. So if somebody likes that idea or something like that, I mean, we can come up with some other ones in similar price points.
That's cute.
We have male teachers, I think. Not many.
Yes,
I think the pen is
use
fine.
lip balm.
Who doesn't need another pen?
And they are really nice pens. Like they're felt tip markers.
Yeah, I mean, it is true. We do have male teachers, so to kind of go across the board and make it.
I personally would like to send my teachers wine because I think they need some wine.
You can just bring some over here, Emma.
Did anybody listen to the thing on Friday? The North Carolina State was saying Monday is Cinco de Mayo, and so everyone should buy their teachers a case of Corona.
That's funny.
I saw that. Was that the thing? I saw that or heard that.
I was like,
are we allowed to do something like that?
At least not officially.
Well, but if you're just doing it as a parent, dropping something off, I mean.
You can pair it with some cheese. I think that'll be fine.
All right. So what I have is for officially next week, we're going to have the tic-tac-toe bingo board. We are on our own going to showcase our children, ourselves, and then kind of try to get other parents to do the same thing via Facebook. And the following week, when teachers come back, we're going to try to do the rocks and having a chalk the walk to welcome them back. And then we'll do the flare pens with about $100 commitment. At some point, whenever Amy gets those, that's not going to be a next week thing, but for the teachers before they come back. Was there anything else that was mentioned that we absolutely want to advertise?
If we do, I have a question. If we do have parents asking about what can they do specifically for their teacher as, maybe a gift card, maybe a gift for the token of their appreciation, because we know these teachers are working their butts off, to help our kids during this time. What would we tell them? Like, what can they do with
I mean,
any gift card
digitally is fair game.
Yeah. So just do something digitally and we'll email it to their Socrates email address, right?
Yeah, sure.
If we do that.
Are there like 5 or 6 ideas like that where an optional commitment a parent could do on their own beyond the bingo thing that we could promote? So we can we can put it out there as well of, other ideas, but we're not just saying, I don't want somebody to feel bad, like, well, I didn't do it, like, I don't want it to be like, today, do this. Like you were saying, some people can't. But are there other things that aren't part of that bingo board that we could list out for parents as well?
Gift cards, digital gift cards, like Brittany just said, online gift cards.
I mean, I think putting monetary pressure on people right now is not a good idea, personally. But that's just me, because I think it's a really sensitive time. But I don't know.
I don't think it hurts to just say, hey, if you need ideas, here are some, because nobody's obligating anything to anyone. I mean, I just organized an end of year gift for my younger daughter's teacher, and I just said very plainly, I said, please do not feel any obligation at all whatsoever, and if you do choose to give anything, give me what you feel like giving, and then I am happy to go from there. Another idea, if we wanted to throw out a couple things, if we're okay with it being something monetary since it's completely optional, is maybe making a donation in that teacher's name to anything you feel like might be near and dear to them.
That's kind of a fun idea.
We could have, if we wanted to have some things that didn't cost money, we could have send your teacher an e-card, say you're thinking of them, or if we want to have some other things. But I think that would also be covered on that bingo card.
So
yeah, the e-card is a good idea.
Once we see the bingo card, maybe we can come up with a list of a few additional things, and then on Monday or something we can promote it as, still looking for something else to do. Here's a list of a few ideas, and then that way we can put the idea of the e-card out there without making people feel the pressure of it.
Right. And I still think anybody. Oh, sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, you're right. There will be people who ask.
Yeah, I mean, and I think people will still do some sort of a monetary thing if they can.
They want.
I mean,
and if they want
most of us have been there long enough to know what Teacher Appreciation Week entails. So I think some parents will give monetary donations some way, whether it be an e-gift card or whatever, because we're also going to need to come up with some end of the year stuff too.
Right.
Just typically a group gift. I mean, that's just what we do because it's easier, but I mean, I don't know. Again, quarantine brain, if I'm not making sense, please.
Well, I just know, like, when I tried to do that as groom parent, it was hard to get that from people, even when we weren't under these circumstances. So
yes.
That's my thought process. Because
I kind of agree. I've typically avoided group gifts for the room as the room parent because it's such mixed participation.
It is. I agree with all. So here's my thought behind the whole gift card or personal gift idea for the teacher. Not everyone, of course, is going to participate, but you want to have people thinking that, oh, they're not doing anything of that sort this year, so we're just going to go ahead and do the bingo, and that's all. So we don't really. But I wanted to give a gift, but they wouldn't ask, like, should I just send a gift? Is it okay for me to go ahead and send a digital gift card? So that was my thought process behind maybe just saying these are additional options. You're not obligated to do it, like Brittany said, and Brittany stressed this, you're not obligated to do it, but here are some additional ideas. I personally love appreciating my teachers by giving them a gift card of some sort, because to me, that's personal, that's for them. They've taught my child all year. I do that, and that's just my personal preference.
Well, I think if we include it with other things, the idea would be we can go ahead and let them know if you wanted to send something, you can use their Socrates email address. Like questions people might have, they might afraid to do it without us telling them, oh yeah, it's okay, you can use this. But I do think I like the idea of it being mixed in with send a picture that your child to your teacher, or write a letter to your teacher,
Yes.
prompting questions. And that way it's mixed in. Someone can find their own way to do it. Like maybe draw a flower, like since you can't bring a flower, draw a flower or something like that.
Oh, that's a cute idea for the bingo board. Show your teacher a flower on Zoom today.
Because usually we'd have things like that, like bring your teacher a flower day or something, and
I think we keep it simple because, like everyone said, it's overwhelming if we have Monday as this day.
Right. And then we know we've done something, we've contributed. I think that in this unique time, if the teachers really do get to go back to school on the 8th, maybe by June, things will settle down and we can do something a little more significant at the end of the year, especially if there's going to be that sort of commencement parade. Maybe we can have some boxes where as you're coming through, if you want to drop something off, there's some tubs outside, and just hand it to someone who can pick it up or something out of your car. We can brainstorm some new ideas to make an end of year celebration once we know how things evolve over the next few weeks. I don't want to do too much planning and then find out that we're closed until July. So, all right.
And Morgan's lined up to do the rock. She said, just have us let her know what she wants to, what we want her to put on it.
Okay. Great. Okay, so I feel like we have a good plan. Simple. Does anyone have anything they want to add? Otherwise, I'll formulate my notes and send something out and make sure that I captured everything correctly. Hold on. So Sarah sent me something that we can discuss real quick. I think the question she's asking about doing signs that go in teachers' yards, and it's not very expensive. I think the thing would be we'd have to have the admin help us with, like, we don't know if teachers would want to give us their addresses. Is that something that they'd be willing to help with? The idea of putting like a yard sign in their yards that says like home of a Socrates Academy hero or something like that.
I love that idea. We actually had kind of joked about it earlier in the week because we've seen quite a few schools doing that for their teachers and would love to do something like that. I just didn't know the financial commitment behind that.
And I'd be happy to drop them off at teachers if teachers want to remain anonymous as to where they live. I think the leadership team, I mean, I know I would volunteer to stick them in their yards. It was just like Vanessa said, the financial implications are on our end. We couldn't support, but I would love to support something like that.
If the admin feels like, and this is completely up to you guys, if you feel like that's too much on you, because it's not like you're not doing anything else, you could always pick a couple of trusted parents, have them sign the non-disclosure agreement, and recruit some help if you feel like you need it. I'm sure you could find a couple, but I mean, that's totally up to you guys.
Sarah, if we did this, do you know what the turnaround would be? Like, could we have it in time?
I think it says the May 1st. It would arrive May 1st.
Oh, so they're pretty fast turnaround then.
Where is this from?
Imprint.com.
I think it's absolutely adorable, and I think they would love that. If we could pay for it.
Yeah, she said
for 97 signs, it was $171.
We can
I
definitely.
think it's adorable.
So
like
it's just.
I like that idea over the pen idea. What do you guys think? Or would you want to do both of those ideas?
I guess we feel comfortable budgeting.
Oh, okay.
How big is the sign, Sarah?
It's 12 by 18. I just did a basic one. So it's a white sign. Lettering is navy blue with gray outline. And then I was going to, I have to pull up the artwork for it, but I was just going to use the athletic owl on top of it.
Yeah, it'd be cute. And then she has,
That's a really good idea.
That's a great idea.
Do they get to keep it? Like,
Yes.
yeah, I mean, we wouldn't, yeah.
Mhm.
you always have.
Well, and then we can ask them to take a picture with their sign.
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
cute.
Very cute. You win, Sarah. Good job.
Awesome, Sarah.
All right. So that is, I like that that's a tangible thing we could do for them too. I'm fine with doing both. Like the pens can still be something we do because that's still not that much. I mean, we're talking less than $300 and we usually spend way more than that. That's like 1 day's of meals. So financially, are we fine with committing? Because it's, you know, up to $300 or so for both of those activities.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Anyone have any issues with those financials? All right. So just to recap, Ms. Savage is working on the bingo thing. I am going to write up the additional ideas and put it on Facebook. Sarah's going to do the yard signs, and then admin is going to distribute. Same thing we were talking about with Mr. Newberry earlier. And so Miss Baker, Miss Brighton, would you like Sarah to just have them shipped directly to your houses rather than her get them to her or send them to the school? Like, what would be the best, most efficient way of getting the actual signs to you?
I would suggest you can have them shipped to the, you know what, it doesn't matter. It could be the school or my address. And like I said, I'm happy to deliver them. And I'll even do a video so that you guys can see the experience and my children can jump out and hammer them in the yards.
And I guess I wasn't even thinking there. Is it something that has to ship or is it something local where they pick it up?
This particular company is not local. I could see if there is anything that's local. This one's from Texas.
Okay.
But I can do a quick search to see if there's anything local that we could do.
Well,
I would say at that price and with the delivery date that quick, I would go with it.
I would say just make sure that's real. Like I would want to make sure with the guaranteed delivery. And if we have to pay a little more for a guaranteed delivery, shipping is so weird right now. I'd hate for us to miss the week, you know?
Yeah.
So Sarah, you can look into that. When you're finally ready to order, you can give me a call and we can do it with a credit card, or you can do it and we can reimburse, whichever you prefer. And then we have the following week, we're going to do the rock and the Sign Up Genius for the Chalk the Walk, and Amy's over that. And Amy's going to work on the flare pen. Was there anything else someone had volunteered for that I didn't just recap? All right. And if anyone else comes up with any other ideas, obviously we can promote it as like the extra idea thing, the list. So just send me a note and I will add it to that list. All right, so anything else? I think that was anything else anyone wants to talk about while we are all together. If not, that's the last thing I had on the agenda.
How much were the signs?
170, 167.
For how many?
97.
How big are they?
12 by 18.
Oh. Okay.
What's the website again, Sarah?
Imprint.com.
Imprint?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. I'm just looking for Kyle. Sorry, guys.
They do have some cute graduation
I wasn't
signs.
like double checking.
They have cute graduation signs.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right, well, if no one has anything else, let's officially call the meeting to close. And before we motion for that, we will need to have one more meeting before the year is over to just officially welcome our new officers and, you know, officially close out the year. We can figure that out. I'm not trying to nail anything down, but I just want you all to know that we will probably need at least one more meeting this school year. But anyway, can I have a motion to close the meeting?
I motion.
And a second?
I motion.
All right, thanks guys.
Who seconded? I didn't see, I'm sorry.
Maria.
Thank you.
All right, it was lovely talking to all of you.
Nice to see you all.
Ms. Baker, I don't know how to get me the recording.